Welcome to Module 1.3. I'm going to go over some ideas on golden prospects for a plumbing company. This plumbing company is located somewhere near my city, so I'm a little familiar with them. But I'm not going to do a lot of research on this video. That's going to be a later module. Remember, now we're just finding potential golden prospects, and that's all that you have to do in your homework right now. And we'll get into researching them in the next module and then outreaching to them and then what to ask for. But right now, all we're doing is looking for the golden prospects. So I would first talk to if this was, let's say Headland Plumbing hired us and they haven't, but let's say they had and they were looking for traffic, more revenue coming in from their business. And I would say, okay, which of these, I'm at your site right now, which of these services are more profitable to you? Is it the residential plumbing? Is it the bathroom remodeling? Is it your new construction that you do? And a lot of times they'll say, well, we love selling the new construction, but we're having a hard time getting new gigs on it. It's really profitable for us, but we just haven't done much with that yet. Or they'll tell us that the remodelers are their bread and butter, and that it's just they're having trouble finding new remodelers. To all the remodelers they know are in between jobs right now, or they're in between gigs and they don't have any work for them to do. And so a lot of times that'll happen where their funnel will dry up. So all I would do is look at building relationships, golden prospects to get more plumbing service gigs would be to actually build relationships up with like landscapers. I would also do house painters. I would also do window treatments, like the blinds and the vertical blind companies. I would also do vinyl siding companies, roofers. I would get as many home service, not home service, but any service related providers in that city, which is Lansing, where Headland Plumbing is. I would get as many of them as possible together and just start building relationships with the owners of those companies. They're already going into my buyer prospects homes to work on other things. Why wouldn't I want to have a relationship with them to let me know if there's a plumbing issue? Okay, but how will that build a link for me? And I know a lot of you are asking that because this is a link building course, not a business development course. So you will earn links with this system. But what I'm going to do is I build those relationships up with the landscape company, and I'll figure out some way to build social capital with the owner of that landscape company and do something really nice for him. And when he responds and back to my email or a thank you note I send him where I tell him I did something really cool for him, and I did it because I found something he did cool for somebody else, and I send him a thank you note. They respond to stuff like that, and they usually say, well, what can I do for you? I feel like there's nothing I could do for you. I can do for you. I would just wish there were, and they're just being polite because they're not really trying to problem solve how they can help you. But knowing the ask that I have for that prospect ahead of time, I can be ready to ask for the link, and that's when you ask for the link. The first thing that you'll ask from these golden prospects, once you go in and it's time to get something from them and to cash in your social capital for something, you cash it in for a link. And so you're first a link builder. You're using business development attitudes and disciplines and skill sets to build a link. Now, most link builders they'll stop at the link. They build the link and okay, great, I got a link from this domain. Now I'm going to go off and find a link from that domain and that domain. And then they fail to continue building a relationship up with the person who linked to them. Now, that's one of the ways I would look for golden prospects for this plumbing company. Another way, they're going after bathroom remodelers. So now this is something different. This was almost, these are where the remodelers are going to need to have the plumbing done to get their work done. So that's a lot different than getting leads from a landscape company. This is somebody where a remodeler is saying, listen, I need you to come in and get this done so I can get my work done, so I can get my final check, and so I can get paid and pay my guys. So it's like when you build a relationship up with remodelers and new constructions where you're part of the service that has your work has to be done before they can get paid, having them as referral partners is gold, because a lot of the times they may be working with a plumber already, and that's fine, but that plumber has other gigs going on too, and he may not be able to, he or she may not, why do I have to think that a plumber's a guy, but he or she may not have the time to go over to get to the remodeler's project because a bunch of things happen. Maybe a lot of rain came down and there's a lot of basements flooded and they have to take care of their core clients. So the remodeler's project gets put on hold. Now that remodeler is going to want to have backup plumbers. Why? Because the remodeler wants to get paid. Now that's the type of relationships that I would build if I was running the business development for this company. And I would do the same thing with new construction. I would go out, and new construction could mean what? It could mean somebody building a new home, or it could be commercial builders. I would find the owners of those builders in my city, and I would start building relationships with them as well too. And as I found out who they are and found out who their names are, these are going to be the most influential people in the city that are going to be able to help my business out, maybe double it, maybe triple it. It just makes sense that I would always be building relationships with these people. Now, when we get into, like I said, when we start asking for things and start trying to cash in our social dollars, so to speak, we're going to ask for a link, yes. And it's going to be a good link because it's going to be something that any link from a remodeler or a new construct a contractor in their area, or from another service provider like a landscaper, any link from those local sites over to Headland Plumbing, Google's going to like those links. So you're still link building. You're still going to affect the algorithm positively, and your clients are going to like that, or you're going to like that, seeing that revenue come in. But more importantly, you just build a relationship up with some players in your industry, and that's what I would hope that is the main takeaway from this course is that links are great. Yes, this system will get you links, but it's what happens after the links where the real revenue is built. So let me get into some other examples on different types of golden prospects. I'll see you next module.